Hi, Bill Chapman again with the weekly Capitol video update, and today we've got Tom O'Day with us. Tom's state representative from the western part of the state. Where is it again?
New Canaan and part of Wilton.
Okay, who preceded you?
John Hetherington had the seat for 10 years, and I've had it for the last 5.
Is it okay? John, claim to fame, all right? Pet Trust Bill, John Hetherington and myself worked on that thing along with Peter Mott many years ago, and it was something that nobody knew we were doing, and now that's the Pet Trust Bill.
Yeah.
It's because of John.
And John was ranking member on Judiciary at the time, as I understand.
That's correct. I remember sitting in that room. I think Steve Stanstrom has that office right now.
Yes,
So, you're a friar.
Yes, Providence College, class of '88.
Okay, hoorah.
Yep.
And then went down to D.C.
Yep, D.C. Catholic University, Columbus School of Law, and came out of law school to Halloran Sage for 24 years. And now I'm at DeSero Martin for the last 3 years now, and down in Stamford, Connecticut. Love it. It's going well.
Okay, great. And he's got a bunch of kids at home, getting off doing the college stuff, and but he's up here, and he's one of the guys that they trust on the floor to ask the questions and to look at the bills. That's one of the things when you're an attorney, they have you look at the bills. There's enough people who want to talk about things, but to really get down to what it's saying. And for you, how is that going?
It's going well, thanks, Bill. I'm one of the deputies. So as a deputy on screening, all the bills come through us. And what happens is, before it gets through the House, there has to be a lot of negotiation, as you know, you've seen. And so I've been involved in many different bills, negotiating the final language, trying to accommodate many different interests, and then get it through the floor, House, and then up to the Senate.
Okay, and right now is, as we're doing this is a really crazy time. We've got in the room next door to us here, we've got a bunch of people on both sides of the aisle trying to iron things out here and there, and trying to, they're smiling and being nice to each other. And I'm sure that when you came on board, you didn't realize that all of this happened. Necessarily, you didn't know.
No, it's funny. Now, so when I first came on board, Jerry Fox, also classmate at Providence College, was a friend of mine. He was chairman of Judiciary, and he had been up here for, I think, 15 or 16 years.
Preceded by his dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so Jerry told me, he said, listen, I'll help you, but you can't tell anybody. I'll be your secret mentor. So, no, it was a lot of fun.
Because they're on two different sides of the aisle.
Yes, so Jerry was a Democrat, I'm a Republican, but both of us are more centrist. But it was a lot of fun. Learning curve was, a cliff at the time. But I will say, being a legislator is the most rewarding and the most difficult job I've ever had. And balancing that with my work as a litigator at DeSero Martin, they've been fantastic. But we've handled 3 of the biggest cases in the state over the last 6 months. I was involved in a med-mal case against UConn. I was in a death case. I second chaired that. Then we were involved in the Newtown case, the shooting case representing Remington. And we were involved in the unfortunate death of 5 people with the Badger case down in Stamford. And that we had gone through a few days of jury selection before it ultimately settled. But so juggling my legal practice with being a legislator has been difficult, but very rewarding.
Because sometimes you come in at one of the things, I think I've mentioned it before, that this is the first year that the House says we're going to start at 10:30. They actually do start at 10:30. So at least, folks like Tom and other attorneys can try to get their stuff done, early. They can maybe talk to the judge. The judge might be a little lenient with them, because now he's going to travel for an hour and 20 minutes, hour and a half.
When you stay close to the speed limit, yeah, it's at least that. But I will say, unfortunately, like last year and the year before, they'd say start at 11:30, wouldn't start till 12:31. So I can get a lot done in the morning. I generally try and get to work around 7, but now I have to leave by 9:15 in order to get up here in time. So that's been a little more difficult this session than normal. But the good news is we've been out a little sooner.
Yeah.
A lot of times in past, as you know, you've been up here a lot longer than I have. We've been here past midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. In fact, with the gun legislation that we did, we were here till 6:30 the next morning. And driving back in those circumstances is difficult. But having the house so close, from numbers perspective, has been a very good thing.
79, 72.
So we're a lot more involved now in negotiating bills. So it's been a very enjoyable experience.
Before, there were 99 Democrats, so the D's could just say, "Here, we're doing this bill," and they really didn't care because they knew that there weren't going to be that many people who were going to flip. Now with it 79, 72, there has to be discussion, and the same with the Senate. We've talked about that before, and even in terms of the timing, the Senate was coming in at noontime. Okay, right now it is 3 o'clock. They still aren't in, but these guys have been working since 10:30 this morning. So, craziest thing that's happened to you?
The craziest thing, well, I would say the most difficult was driving home after the gun bill, because we had a lot of families from Newtown here, and it was very emotionally draining. And I'm driving home at literally hitting rush hour traffic going the wrong way. I mean, I'm going with rush hour traffic at 8 o'clock in the morning and falling asleep and just emotionally drained from that. So that was the most difficult. Some of the most interesting things. I was asked to help out on an oyster bill.
Okay.
And some of you may not know, there's not a whole lot of oyster beds in New Canaan, Connecticut. But I was tasked with my minority leader and the chairman of the Environment Committee to negotiate a compromise bill between the fishermen, and they will tell you that if you're working with oysters, it's more like a farmer than a fisherman, and with the state deep. So I was negotiating between the two of them the oyster bill. And ultimately the bill failed, got out of the House, but then failed at the Senate. But that was probably the most interesting for me, never having done anything with oysters but eat them.
Yeah,
be involved in
yeah.
negotiating that bill.
Especially PC. Got a lot of seafood there. So we're coming near the end of the session. Between you and me, and a couple of others, do you think the budget's going to get done in time for June 7th?
Obviously, the betting person says no. The odds are we will not get done. I'm actually hopeful it will get done, because I think if you look, there's not that much difference between the governor's bill and the Republican bill. There are some major differences, but the Democrat bill just came out. I haven't digested it as much as I have the governor's bill, but I'm optimistic something will get done. I will say this: and lawyers on this, they're watching this, the few of them that there are, because of you, not me. The judiciary's been devastated with these cuts. I mean, literally, I was marking my own exhibits in a med mal case, a death case. It shouldn't be big. We're interacting with jurors now more than we ever have. You're seeing the staffs are cut dramatically in all the courthouses. So we're not going to be able to restore a lot of what's been cut, but hopefully we'll be able to hold it where it is. But it's going to be difficult. It's going to be really hard.
Okay, and Tom's one of the guys who obviously he's in court. Most likely, I think it's Monday. We're going to be going through hours and hours of judges. We've got supposed to be 4 more named, along with the other 13 who have been named, 2 appellates. Family support magistrates, so it's going to be a long day for
It'll be a long day on Monday. Now, for those of you out there that want to get on that list, I will tell you, none of the names the Republicans have put forth got there. So, hopefully we'll have more interaction with the governor on getting us nominees that we want. But it's a good group. I do anticipate them getting through. But it'll be a long day.
Yep. 8 CBA members. Okay, Tom, thank you very much. Good luck for the rest of the session. And
let me just say one thing to those that are watching this. If you have any ideas on how to improve legislation, you're involved in the trenches, please let us know. Reach out to Bill or myself. because I say all the time, the best ideas come from our constituents, come from members of the bar. So please reach out to Bill or myself.
Great. Thanks a lot, Tom.
Thank you.
Next time, we'll see you.